Welcome back to the channel and the Hellcat rebuild. So today I'm going to be putting the dash back in, but before I do that, I'm going to clean the windshield, clean the dash outside of the car, and make sure that everything is nice and clean before I slip it in, just so I don't have to, you know how hard it is to clean windshields when dashes are in and the windshield is dirty. When the accident happened, it looked like they had a cup of coffee or something, which splashed on the windshield. So got to clean that, throw the dash in, and we'll just kind of work from there. So let's get to work on this car. And also, if you haven't seen in the last videos, this video is sponsored by Mopar Online Parts. Go check out the link below. The parts that they offer are very, very reasonably priced. So check them out, links in the description. They're helping out huge on the project with parts, information, anything that I needed. And they are very resourceful and helpful. So if you guys need any help, I would definitely contact them, get the help you need. They are based out in New York, so if you're local to New York, you can go check them out and go down there. They do have a service department as well. So let's get to work on the Hellcat. Just got back from the store. I got some rags, I got some glass cleaner, I got some interior detailer, and you can't not start a project without some sweet teas. So got me some sweet teas. Got the dash back in the Hellcat, and man, does it look good. One thing I forgot was how heavy these things are. It's just crazy. So what I'm gonna do now is put the gauge cluster surround in, steering column in, and try to get all this buttoned up as much as I can. I still need to leave the top piece of that off because I need to still put a curtain airbag in once those parts come. So I won't put the trim around the top of the dash, but the dash is 100% bolted in and ready to go, and it does look really good. So this car is getting there. But one thing I'm not exactly sure is why you can't really see it on camera, but there's a strap right there. I don't know why you'd be grabbing that strap when you should be having both hands on the steering wheel. If you're gonna wreck this car, you better have both hands on the steering wheel. got the old airbag and clock spring off the steering column / steering wheel. And as you saw in the time lapse, I cut the wires on the airbag. The reason being is there's so much heat when the airbag actually deploys, it melts those clips usually. Sometimes you can get away with them coming off, but most of the time it's gonna melt them. And my base was actually deformed from the deployment. The same thing with the clock spring. When the airbags deploy, the correct thing is to replace that, as well as the module. I know a lot of people just throw used, a used airbag in there and use the same clips and clock spring. It isn't the correct way to do it. And since I plan on driving this car, I do want everything to be correct. So I did get a new clock spring right there. Comes as an assembly, as you can see, with a new switch. So that is a plus. And one thing I did have an issue with, I think it was because the airbag deployed, but I had the biggest issue getting this airbag to actually come out. And I kind of want to show you guys how these come out. And it will be, an actual, it'll help a lot of people, I bet. So how I did it was, as you can see, I don't have it in the steering wheel. The trick is there's the hole that's in the steering wheel part of the cover, and it's like a little rubber thing. But most people just tell you that you're trying to hit this spring right here. So you can see there's a little hole right there. So there's a hole out here and there's a hole right here. You're trying to hit that spring right there to release it. It releases it from the steering wheel and it just pushes the spring down to unclip it. Well, the issue with it is see how it got stuck right there? It doesn't have that, you don't have that much leverage on it, and it's not an actual secure part. So you can get stuck behind it, you can slip on it. The best thing I found to do was go in from the hole sideways like this and then push down, and that gives you the ability to actually control the spring because it's not going to slip behind it. If you go straight up and down, it has a chance that the spring is going to slip over it and you're not going to get it. So do that. Now that the steering column is in the car and it is looking more and more like a car, I'm going to throw the clock spring assembly onto the steering column, and then I'll put the gauge cluster surround and display surround on. I was thinking about using the scat packs, but it does have a few little dings and dents. I really like how it looks. It's like a brushed aluminum, and the ones that come in these cars is like a simulated carbon fiber, which really looks tacky. I think the brushed aluminum looks a lot better. I may change it in the future to that, but the one that came with a scat pack, it looks like they drop stuff on it, and it has like a bunch of little dings and dents because it is actually aluminum. The new clock spring assembly is now on. Before I throw the gauge cluster surround on, it's weird. This car only has 1,200 miles, but it has like little weird stuff on the plastic. So I'm gonna use plastic cleaner, clean the gauge cluster face. I've already cleaned the display face. I just used Windex on that. And you don't want to press very hard on that. You just want to give it a little spritz, give it a nice wipe down with a microfiber and barely use any pressure. There was some coffee and stuff on there, and I just kept doing it until it came off. They're touchscreen displays. You don't want to press on it too hard. It's hard to tell, but you can kind of see how much cleaner the gauge cluster face is. I used some plastic cleaning polish, and then I used some of the natural stuff because it has like that Scotch Guard stuff in it, and I felt like it would just kind of shine everything up. So it looks really, really clean and nice, and it got rid of all those little scuffs, which I think was from the gauge cluster surround. The bezel is now in, and this is looking more and more like a car. Every piece I put in, I wish I could throw the center console and all that stuff back in, but I have to wait for the new piece of carpet back here and the new wiring harness. So yeah, and also once the airbag comes, this thing is just gonna look spot on. I just can't wait to see this thing back together, all nice and clean with no blown airbags. I'm in kind of a hurry because the truck line is here with the parts, but hopefully nothing's wrong with them. They want me to check them out before I accept them, so I'm guessing something may have happened to the hood or something like that. So we're gonna run up there really quick. Oh yeah, that stuff looks destroyed. It's almost like how it's strapped.
No,
it just,
I strapped it in.
so it's like this when you got it?
Yeah.
Where did you pick it up at?
I come out of the Springs.
Oh, out of Springs, yeah. Yeah, this looks like the bumper's on the bottom destroyed. The hood's definitely destroyed. I know there's some fenders somewhere in here. These are the fenders. This one's probably good, but this one's bad. I mean, what do I do? Do I just have you offload it and then make a claim, or?
You can receive it like it is and then write up a claim, or you can just refuse the whole shipment.
Well, I know there's radiators and stuff in here that I need. Yeah, because I know there's some good parts in here. I'm sure the radiators are fine.
Virginia, this is Larry. I'm over here at Don's sports car salvage. This pellet that I have for them, it's a lot of damage. I mean, it looks like they put some heavy stuff on top of this thing. And
yeah, it even smashed the pallet. And the only thing that's on here is a hood, 2 fenders, some radiators, and a front bumper.
Yeah, can he receive the good parts or refuse the bad parts? Let me grab one. Let me grab a knife, okay?
All right.
Yeah, it's better that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, at least she okayed it, you know what I'm saying?
All right, so disappointing news. It seems like shipping is a huge issue. It looks like they had everything nicely on this pallet. The pallet is smashed on the bottom. So it looks like something almost hit this side, because you can see how the hood on the box right there, it is caved in by that other box, and the fender on the outside right here is all smashed in as well. So it almost looks like they hit it with something, and the bumper on the bottom's all smashed and pushed over. So we're gonna open the pallet, open each individual part, see what is actually good, and then I'm gonna accept that stuff, and then have to go through with reordering all the new stuff. They lost all the other stuff, which, I mean, these aren't cheap parts. The hood's like $1,500.
Hey.
And I can see, like, if that box is like half of what it should be, so. I mean, this thing's probably bent. Oh yeah, it's even on the side. Oh man, it would have been better if it was on the other side. Come on, we can get some good stuff. This should be right. It's a headlight. Get it back in the box. This is another fender. I'm sure this one's hotter. Oh yeah, look at that.
Just put it back in.
See it's all smashed. So how's this gonna work? Do I have to have the Dodge dealership contact them, or?
You'll have to tell them this is what was damaged, and then we'll send this back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, to the dealership?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Dodge.
Huh?
They didn't take any of their stuff back. If all you're going to do is ship all this stuff back to the dealership, they're not going to want it.
Well, that's company safety.
They didn't take any of the other damage stuff. Because they damaged the fenders last time too.
And you kept them here? Oh, really? They're not going to do stuff like that. I mean, I've never even heard of a carrier doing that. How's that look? Looks good. Is it plastic or what?
Yeah, it's fiberglass.
Yeah, fiberglass.
it was kind of disappointing that the parts, a lot of them came damaged, and it was an obvious shipping damage issue. It looked like they backed a forklift into the hood. The hood was literally tacoed. So I didn't show it because the guy was kind of rushing me because he was mad that I was looking through all the parts, and he was like, well, I have other deliveries, and I didn't want to accept anything that was damaged. The headlight, one of the boxes was completely mangled, and the good thing is Dodge puts all this foam in it, so the headlight itself was okay, but the box was missing the top. The whole side was just like ripped, but luckily enough, this saved it. The one thing I didn't really like is this headlight was packaged like this. It seems like it came okay. Let's put it like that, but this box didn't take any damage. I feel like if this box took the damage that this box did, that headlight would have been smoked. So if Dodge, if you guys are watching this video, maybe stay with the foam. I know it's not as environmentally friendly, but nothing really is when you're shipping stuff. So luckily enough, you guys packaged this headlight with this expanding foam method, which worked flawlessly. This kind of scared me. So back onto the other stuff, I did get the bumper. It was luckily enough not damaged. It was surprising because the box was just destroyed. As you can tell, everything's out of boxes because all the boxes were just smoked. So I am really happy with the dealership that I'm working with in New York. So if you guys are gonna order parts for Mopars, Dodges, or anything like that, they are helping me out tremendously on this project. It helps them out, they help me out. I mean, it's just a whole circle of people helping people out. So if you want to go get some cool parts for a good price, go check out Mopar Online Parts. Link is in the description. This shipping damage isn't their fault, so don't blame this on them. This was definitely an issue with somebody at a warehouse. They backed a forklift directly in the hood. The hood was tacoed. It was noticeable. The hood and the fenders were just destroyed. So it's people in the shipping business, nobody cares about their job anymore. They just want the check every Friday. They don't care if they damage the goods that are coming through because they're not gonna get in trouble. They are not liable for anything. It's just a big circle of people that don't claim responsibility for what they're doing, and they don't really care about their job. They just want that check and want that Instagram fame. So we're going to use what we got. I think I could get the cooling system almost all the way done. One part for the cooling system was damaged, so I will be able to stick this cooler over there, the radiator and all that stuff, but I will have to wait for one line to come in, and they've already shipped it out. I mean, the Mopar Online Parts guy, I'm working with this guy named Benny, and he is awesome. He ships stuff out instantly. He gets back to me right on time. I mean, before I even contacted him about working with me on my YouTube channel, he was just spot on. Every time would respond to my emails and answer all my questions that same day, multiple emails a day. I also received the part to the intake that I needed, so now I could put that new intake hose onto the Demon air filter, Demon/Red-Eye air filter, and we'll be good to go in that department. So that's awesome. And before I do anything with any of this stuff, I've decided that I'm going to change the oil in this thing. And these things take Pennzoil. And one thing that everybody who watches my channel, if you're new to my channel, I hate Pennzoil. I've worked in a junkyard for a long time. You could tell when cars use Pennzoil. I'm sure Pennzoil will try to sue me for this, but they're garbage. What I got is this Castrol right here. This stuff, I use it in everything, and I use it in my LS. The only thing I don't use it in is my rotaries, because that takes 2050 VR1. But I have this. It takes 7 quarts. I have a K&N oil filter, and you cannot not use this Liquid Moly MOS2. Friction reducer, I use this in my truck. Rotaries, this, anything that I ever have had, I use that in it. I'm not even sponsored by them. I probably should be, but or I should work with them or something. But just finished changing the oil in the Hellcat, and I'm gonna show you guys something. The dealers always wanna do the first oil change. That's why they offer them for free for so long. It's because when they assemble the engine, there's always stuff that's gonna come out. So I'm gonna show you what's in the bottom of the pan, the oil pan. I didn't record all the way through. I can't prove that this was in there or whatever. I'm not saying the engine's bad or anything like that. When they assemble engines, there's always going to be something in there after they start up. It's going to get in the bottom of the pan when you drain the oil. After a few oil cycles, and it's going to be gone. But this is what was in my Hellcat oil. Here, we'll show you right here. The oil looks pretty normal, but when you pan for gold, look at all the sparkly bits right there. So that's just looks like casting aluminum that has flaked off. It's not anything to be concerned about, but it is why the dealerships want to change your oil for a certain period of time just to get most of this out, because it does just come out when you change the oil. It's nothing to be worried about. Like I said, it's just you know, casting aluminum or just random stuff that has come off from the engine starting up and rotating and all that good stuff. So the oil is now changed in the Hellcat. I have the Molly friction reducer in there. I have the Castrol Edge in there. I have the K&N oil filter. I don't know why I'm saying all these names. They're not sponsoring me, but they're all in there. I like to use that stuff because it's good. I'll throw the links in the description. So I thought I was gonna be able to get the Hellcat running and driving today, but unfortunately the cooler for the supercharger, it's the primary cooler. There's a secondary one on the side, but the primary one was damaged from the whole shipping fiasco, the second shipping fiasco now. So now I'm waiting for that cooler. It is on the way, so it does fit in between the condenser and the radiator. Once I get that, I should be good to go. The front bumper looked okay. It kind of was bowed, but I think it should be okay once it's bolted to the header panel. So other than that, I need to, there's just some stuff I'm waiting on parts wise. Obviously that's the issue with these kind of builds is you just wait on parts over and over again, but it is getting closer and closer. It does look more and more put together. I know this is taking longer than you guys want. This is taking longer than I want. And once it is running and driving, that will be a plus. The new set of fenders won't be coming until, so the wide body stuff is on approval. So you have to make sure, you have to send them a picture of the damaged fenders before they'll send you a new set, which sucks because now they're sending the fenders in that red eye hood back to New York, and I have to wait until that hood and the fenders get to New York to get reordered. So they're on approval, which sucks, but I did get the whole demon slash red eye intake hooked up. The one thing I didn't get hooked up was on the so it comes as a kit, and it has this thing right here because I'm guessing there's a vent on the back of the head or the back of the valve cover. On the Hellcat, it's just on the front. So what I'm probably going to do is try to figure out how I could put this in that intake. The reason I can't use this is because I don't have the plugs over here for it. If I did have the plugs and had a port on the back of the head or the valve cover that I could plug all that stuff into, I would, but I don't. So I did want this intake because it does flow a lot better and opens the car up. One thing I did notice that I'm probably gonna have to order, I don't have this piece right here, the little extension, and I don't have the duct for the secondary cooler. So I'm guessing there's a duct that goes to it. I don't have it, so I'm gonna have to order those two things, and hopefully they come. They should be fine, but I mean, it's just this whole shipping thing is just getting out of hand. So hopefully I was hoping by the end of the week, but I'm still hoping by the end of the week I can get this thing running and driving, which it's looking like it might be possible. So hopefully, I'm saying hopefully a lot. I'm really hoping. So these these shipping damage things, they're just getting out of hand. So other than that, one good thing about saving all the parts, the broken parts, was I had all the bolts and the little rubber deflectors and ducting for the fan, radiator, and condenser, which is a plus. Also, I got the old header or the old curtain airbag out, and I got the new steering wheel airbag in. So that is all good to go. The steering wheel is 100% ready, and we're getting this thing buttoned up. I also put the headlights and some other stuff in the trunk back here. There's the new seat belts, the new headlights, and the new curtain airbag back there. I'll put the curtain airbag back in after. Actually, I could probably put the curtain airbag in now, but I'll just wait because I have to replace the whole wiring harness for the car, and I'm gonna explain that in a separate episode, but it is gonna get replaced. That's gonna be the end of this episode of the Hellcat rebuild, and it has come a long way. I was gonna split these episodes up, but now that I don't have the cooler for the supercharger, I cannot get this thing running today. Luckily, I changed the oil. Everything went good there. There wasn't anything crazy in the pan. And I mean, it only has 1,200 miles. But if you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, comment below, give this video a thumbs up. See you next time.